Hey, welcome to Tabletop Skirmish Games. I'm Lee, and in this video we'll be taking a look at the core book for Warhammer Age of Sigmar that came in the Dominion box set. Here we go, here's our core book from the Dominion box set, and I've had this for a couple of weeks now, and I've gone through it a good few times and just took it down from the bookshelf every now and then and just reading through and just getting a good feel for what the book is all about. So I thought now after 2 weeks this is a good time to make a video of a little flick through the whole book, and we'll just go over some of the main points and just give you a good idea about what the book is all about. And this one's from the Dominion box set. So you get this limited edition cover art on the front with a full page cover art, and it's really stunning. It just looks awesome, but it's exactly the same book as it would be if you picked up the regular core book. It's just the cover's going to be different. So if you wanted to get the core book, then this video is for you as well, as the contents are going to be the same. So in the video we're going to have a flick through, work our way right through the whole book, pick out some of the main points, and then hopefully give you a good idea if this is something that you'd like to add to your collection. So right away, the cover art is just stunning, really nice, and I'm so glad I got this Dominion box set just to get this nice cover on the front. And it's a really thick book. You can see from the side there, that's a real chunky book, and you're looking at 28mm thick. So a lot going on here, and it's one of the thickest books I've seen, certainly for Warhammer. And then on the back, nice and simple, just letting us know this is the time of turmoil, this is the era of war, this is the Age of Sigmar. And so really nice. I mean, straight away, this looks like something you just want to pick up and grab hold of and have a read through. And you're going to get 360 pages in here, so it's going to be packed with loads of good stuff. But starting off, I'm just so happy with this artwork. Indrasta, the celestial spear there, armed with Thengava and the blade of the high heavens, and she's doing battle with some crazy tentacle beast. So a great looking book. The quality right away from the cover is just fantastic, and on the bookshelf it just looks awesome, and it's that kind of book that draws you to it and you want to get it down from that bookshelf and have a look through. And I really like the layout of it, as you'll see as we go through it, because you can just pick it up, spend just maybe 10 minutes flicking through, picking out something you want to read about, and then put it back on the bookshelf. So you certainly don't have to read through it all in one go. You really can just dip in and out of it, and that's something I really love about this book. Right, let's get it open and we'll start flicking through. And so we get a really nice kind of almost blue, black and white kind of image there. And this is the same image that comes with the protectors that are included in the main box when you get the Dominion box set. And this is just packed with such good artwork. Wait till you see it all. It's just fantastic. And then we've got our contents here. And one thing you will notice about this is that the core rules don't come up until page 248. So for a book of 360 pages, we're going to get 247 pages before we even get to the rules. So this is really great. So you're going to have a load to read through here. And so let's have a quick run through of the contents before we move on. So we're going to talk about the realms of war, and then we're going to go through war unending. And this is going to give us a real kind of history of Warhammer from the Age of Myth right up to date, going through all the mortal realms, and then going into detail about the Dawnbringer Crusades and Gur, which is what the Dominion box set is themed for. So this war unending section is just packed with information. We've gone from page 25 to 132 there, and that's going to give us lots of lore, lots of background, and lots of great reading. So if you're new to Age of Sigmar, like I am, then this is a perfect place to start and get up to speed with exactly what's been going on. But even if you play Warcry, I think this is awesome because you can really learn a lot about the different realms, the mortal realms, and a history of the kind of world that all this is based in. So for Age of Sigmar or Warcry, I would say this book is just good for the reading and the artwork and everything that's included. But you get the rules as well, which is awesome. So if you want to play Age of Sigmar, this is the way to go. But for a book on lore, oh man, I haven't seen anything like this for a while. This is just a really good book. But then once we've gone through that, we go on to Clashing Empires. And then so from page 134 right down to 244, we're going to start learning about all the different factions. And so we've got the different grand alliances, and this is going to be the Sentinels of Order, Agents of Chaos, Bringers of Death, Harbingers of Destruction. This is going to give us a few pages for each faction, giving us a little bit of background and explaining how they fit into the world of Age of Sigmar. So once we've learned about the background, gone through all the factions, then we'll get to the rules and we'll start learning all about the core rules and then the different ways we can play from open play, narrative, match play and conquest unbound. So that's the content section. So lots to look at here. And then straight away we're going to start going from around page 4 to 11. We're just going to be introduced to the Age of Sigmar and also to the Dawnbringers. So this is going to be introducing us with these great images. I mean, the artwork is just fantastic. Not much to read here. This is really just to look at and look at the pictures, but some stunning artwork. And this really sets the mood and gets you right into it. And here we've got, again, that image that we saw right at the beginning in that black, blue and white, and also for the protective cover that came in the box. And then we get on to page 12, and pretty much from page 12 to 23 is all introduction. So we're going to see some great photos now, and this is one thing I love about the book as well, not just the great artwork, but seeing all these high quality painted armies and terrain in action. I just think is fantastic. And then the usual thing you see in like Warhammer books, how to go about collecting. Some people just collect to paint and display, which is cool. How you would choose a faction, collecting for gaming, and then talking a little bit then about how to build and paint your miniatures. And so this is a nice example on page 19, just showing you how good contrast paints can be. So you've got the traditional method, 3 steps, but this one here is just done with 1 coat of each different colour contrast paint. So contrast can be great for tabletop ready miniatures, and you can get some really nice standards. I think this is a really nice example of that. So we've got a few pages on that, playing the game, great photos again, everyone's all happy playing the game together, so this is awesome. And then once we get to page 23, that's pretty much the introduction over it. So it just introduces us to the different types of play, and then later on in the book we'll go into loads of detail about how the game is played. Now we get into the War Unending section, and this is a huge part of the book from page 25 right up to 133. So we're going to learn a lot here about the lore. So this is again brilliant images, loads of reading. I mean, the backstory and narrative that's included in this is just fantastic. I mean, it's just so much. The work that must have gone into this book is huge, but some great images. I mean, all through you're just going to see fantastic layouts, really well thought out book, stunning images, both photos and photography. And you're going to learn so much from this. And again, you can just dive in and out. You don't have to read it right through. You can pick a section and just learn about the Age of Chaos, for example. Just that one section here. And so some nice different sketches as well. Really stunning. And I think just the amount of information is just incredible. And I think you could spend just weeks reading through this. This one's a particularly nice image. Really good. So you're going to get all the information you need right from the beginning, right up to date with Age of Sigmar. So everything you need to know is going to be in this book. And I'll just flick through quite quick here just to give you a really good look of each page. But once we get to pages 76 to 79 is one of my favourite sections. The maps in here is what I've got to say are fantastic. Once you start seeing the maps, it really gives you an idea of how it all kind of works and comes together. The realm spheres, and you really kind of can get a good idea in your mind of when they refer to things like the mortal realms, what does that look like in a map form? And so this book's perfect for that. But here we go. This is what I really like. We really get to know about the Dawnbringer Crusades now. And so it tells us all about it, the coin malleus, why they wear them. And of course you get those coin tokens if you bought the set from the Games Workshop website. But this map I particularly like. I really like the layout here. And this is a Thondian freehold. And this is the layout of each new Sigmarite strong point, which is preordained by the Decree Sigmarus. Now I could imagine setting up some kind of terrain or battlefield based on this map. And with all the details here, you really do get an idea of how these Dawnbringer Crusades are going to work. So for me, this is great. This reminds me of books when I was a kid I used to get, where you get like a picture like this, all labelled, you read it all, and then you've got a map, and you can kind of recreate it in your own drawings. But in this case, we can recreate it on a battlefield, which I think is really exciting. So that's my favourite section. But check this map out. This is the sort of level of maps we're going to get. And now we're starting to learn about all the different realms. And so really great detailed maps and more images, loads of information. I mean, it's just stunning. And so we're going to see these maps for all the different realms. I mean, it just looks so good. I love how they've laid it out. And it's just nice to read. Again, you don't have to read it all. Just pick and choose a little bit. Like just pick this bit and just read about that, you know, and get an idea of the map and the locations on it. This is really nice as well. The Bright City, the layout, all labelled, so really can get really in depth into it. And I think it's just great how they've done it. And then we get all these kind of shields, and we can start learning about armies of Hammerhall. Another realm now, so we start delving into that, but you can just see how much they've included for each realm. It's just brilliant. And here's the realm of beasts, and on here you're going to see Beastgrave on the map, and this will really fit in with how Dominion is set, so you can start imagining all the battles taking place over this realm. The Savage Lands. So it's just amazing. I mean, look at this, just perfect. The way they've done these maps is great. And so lots to look through here. So we'll keep flicking through, more nice maps. So you can see this layout for each of the realms. But I really like maps, so for me this is just perfect. And this was good as well, learning about Misthaven. So you can have a good read about that, a kind of dockyard or seaborne city, they call it. Really nice image there. So this is also a favourite section of mine, just looking at those maps and then being able to visualise where all the battles take place. So that takes us now up to Clashing Empires, and Clashing Empires is where we're going to learn about all the factions. And this image for Clashing Empires is just great. I mean, the detail on that face is fantastic with the tattoos there and the image in the background. Just so well put together. And you also got this little ribbon I haven't mentioned yet, which you can bookmark your pages with. So nice touch. And so now we're going to learn all about the different factions. So quite a lot of information going on here again. And then Cities of Sigmar. This is a really good section. Seraphon. So all your favourite factions are going to be in here. So like with Warcry supplement books, we got a couple of pages of each faction in there, tying it in with Warcry. And this is really going to give us a background for Age of Sigmar. But these are the images I like from the books, where you get the photography of the big battles, the beautiful terrain and scenery, and the high quality painted miniatures. I just think it looks fantastic. So, and like this is the sort of thing you want to be seeing. Some close-ups of the miniatures, seeing them in battles, and then all this different terrain. Just looks awesome. And so we can flick through. And it's some great ideas to like give you some inspiration for your painting and things like that. And just fun to look at. And again, you can just pick out and just learn about one faction. So you don't have to read it all. You can just find out about the Hedonites Knights of Slaanesh and just learn about those. So again, another double page full image there. That battlefield just looks crazy with all the brilliant models on there. So some really nice photography. So you can see this is a really great section. Then we've got the Bringers of Death. Lots to look at and read. Loads of nice photos. This is good with the mausoleum in there. So that's really great. And then we're starting to see some images from Cursed City as well, some of those models. And then we're going to find out about the Orruk War Clans. So this should give us a little idea about Cruel Boys. Doesn't give you a huge amount though, just really from here. So you're not getting an awful lot about the Cruel Boys in this book. But you do get another book that comes with the Dominion box set, which certainly does give you more information. And that's this one, the Start Here, War and the Stone Watch. So that'll give you a lot more information about the Cruel Boys and the individual fighters. So if you want to expand on what's in here, you can certainly do that. Nice image of the Cruel Boys and the Stormcast. This is like the Dominion box set, all going at it in battle. Yeah, so loads and loads of photos and loads of inspiration. And then that takes us now to the rules. So we'll go through all the little rule sections now, just the layout. We're not going to go into detail about the rules, but just have a look at the layout. Now, I'm new to Age of Sigmar, so learning the rules is something that I'm really hoping has been simplified in this book. Because it's always put me off in the past. Too many rules, too much to read through. You're reading pages and pages before you can even start playing. So I'm hoping this will be nice and simple to get into. But we get an introduction. We get this nice player's code with some key principles just about being a decent human being and playing a game so everyone has a good time, I guess. So that's there to have a read through. And then we get to 248, page 248, where we can look at the actual core rules. And you can see when you're reading the rules, it's not like a whole A4 page. You're almost reading like a small book. But then it's got the side notes here. So we've got things highlighted, We can then flick over here and look at the different notes that accompany it, and then they're going to direct us to different pages or different markers within the rulebook as well. So where they touch on something here, it's then going to direct you to where you can find out more as you go through it. So the idea is if you need to refer to a rule as you're playing, it should be pretty easy to get stuck into the book and pick that rule out based on this number system here. So I've got to admit though, it still looks pretty complicated to me to get stuck into. It looks like a lot of reading to get started with. But I think it's got to be intuitive once you start playing. And it's the sort of thing I would say I'm going to learn by playing it rather than reading the book and trying to imagine it in my head. I'm going to take a section at a time, play through that with some models, and then I'm sure it'll be pretty much second nature after a couple of games. It wouldn't take too much. But, you know, there's a fair bit here. There's a fair bit to read through. You can see once we start getting to some pages, they are starting to expand now without the side notes and a little bit more. But you only have to take one section at a time, get to grips with that before you move on to the next one. But with a game this big, you can expect a lot of rules, and it's only going to add to it. So there we go. So lots to look through, lots to learn about the different spells now, and the magic's playing a big part. Monsters, I thought there'd be a lot more to do, but it's pretty simple really. Just one page about your monsters, and then it explains about war scrolls and going through all the information you need, and then your battalions. So I think a lot of this is just to get started. Once you play, you know, the rules themselves are going to be pretty simple, but it's all these little elements like getting to grips with all these different things to get set up and started. Battle packs. And then we start seeing what they call studio collections, where we see an army painted by people who work at Games Workshop. And so this is nice. I always like things like that. And then we're moving on to the open play. So we've covered the rules. So it's not a huge rules section really when you break it down. This page is 245 to 286. So that's all the rules you need to play. And then it tells you the types or ways to play. So we're starting with open play, and that's going to explain how that all works, different ways to set up. And then we see another studio collection, so that breaks it up a bit. And this is really nice. And then narrative play. So this is going to be awesome. Path to Glory, I'm looking forward to getting stuck into. And so we've got all the things we need there for our narrative play. This is quite a big section, quite a lot to read through and get to grips with. Again, once you start playing a bit of narrative, I'm sure it all makes a lot of sense. Another studio collection. More narrative play. And then we're on to match play. So this is something I probably won't be doing. I won't be playing like matches. So I'm not too worried about this little section here. But narrative for sure. One more studio collection. And then we're on to Conquest Unbound. Telling you all about this, like Triumph and Treachery, which we've seen in that same heading in Warcry. Different ways of fighting, tunnel fighting. Hinting at maybe some dungeon action. And then we've got our rules index on the back. And then you get your Path to Glory roster, your Order of Battle, and your army roster to photocopy and use for your games. And then at the back we get that black, blue, white image again. And then that brings us to the end of the book. So there we go, there's a flick through of the entire book, the core book for Warhammer Age of Sigmar that came in the Dominion box set. I'm so happy with that Dominion box set. I'm glad I got it. Even seeing those new sets that are going to be available real soon, I think this was a great option. The book's fantastic. The range of models you get is like huge, 60 miniatures, and the extra War at Amberstone watch book, this one here. I'll do a separate video on this so you can see the contents of that too. And I just think for, you know, you got the War Scrolls. So a really good set to get into. But for me, the book was really a surprise. It was the star of the show. And for my favourite thing out of the box is this book. So I'm really happy with it. I haven't really looked too much at the rules. I've just had a read through and just kind of got to grips with the layout and a little bit of getting started. But it does seem a lot. It seems a lot to get into. So I'm just going to focus on getting the miniatures all painted up and then play with them in Warcry first, because that's my biggest passion. Love Warcry. And you can get the cards on my channel for free for the Cruel Boys. I put together some Warcry fighter cards and abilities. So I'll put a link in the description below and you can download a PDF of those cards for free. And also for my Patreons, I've done some cards up for the Stormcaster Turtles that come in the Dominion box set. So yeah, Warcry is going to be where it's at for me. But even if you only play Warcry, I really think this book is still good. just to give you a real nice background on the lore in which Age of Sigmar and Warcry is all about. So yeah, I'm so happy with this. It's such a great book, one you want to get off your bookshelf, have a little read through, put it back, and just keep going back and forth to it. I think you've got like hours and hours of reading, lots to learn, and then you can implement the narratives that you learn from this and start using little bits of information as you put together warbands for Warcry and of course armies for Age of Sigmar 2. I'll put some links in the description below to Element Games and Wayland Games where you can pick up the Dominion box set but also the core book on its own, and there'll be affiliate links but they won't cost you anything extra. In fact, you can save up to 20% off the RRP for both the book and the Dominion box set, and so for every sale made through that link I also get a small commission, and that helps me develop the channel. So thanks so much for that support, it's really brilliant and I really appreciate it. I'd love to know what you think about the core book, and did you pick up your copy with the Dominion box set or did you buy it separately? So let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts and feedback, and if you haven't got it already, I hope this video has given you a good insight and a good look through the book to help you decide if it's something you'd like to add to your collection or not. But thanks so much for watching. Don't forget there's loads more videos on my channel, all based on the Dominion box set, Warcry and different games, not just Warhammer, but loads of others as well. So lots to look at. But thanks again for watching. Please like if you like it, subscribe for more videos like this, and don't forget to hit the notification bell to join me next time on Tabletop Skirmish Games. If you like this kind of content and would like to support the channel, then please check out my Patreon page, and thanks to everyone who's joined so far. It's really awesome. We hang out on Discord, talk about the hobby, share ideas and help each other out, and you'll get some perks there that you're not going to find anywhere else. So I'll put a link in the description and it'd be great to see you there.